Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, March 16th. We're right in the middle of spring break for a lot of families with schools from all over, from Texas, from New York, wherever you're from. Welcome to the Vail Valley. We've had quite the week with some new snow and then a little bit of sunshine. We're going to see that pattern continue. We'll give you all the details on that. We'll also let you know about some fun things to do off the slopes during this busy time here in the valley, because Vail Valley Live starts now.
Hey, good morning. You are watching Vail Valley Live. Like Trisha was just saying, I'm your host here in the studio, Ashley LaFleur, and we do have a great show in store for you on this Wednesday. We have Mare behind the scenes. She's like the puppet master in the studio today. We have Barry out in the field, and we have a lot going on as far as, just some really cool events, and then also, of course, some great happy hour options. But Trisha will be in Vail this morning, and also we're going to have an interview with Tanner Hake. He's part of the British Invasion that will be taking the stage at the Villar Performing Arts Center tonight in Beaver Creek. So I'll get to learn a little bit more about him and what's going to be happening with that performance. Also, Betteridge Jewelers. If you are looking for just a beautiful, timeless piece of jewelry or maybe a new watch, they definitely have the inventory that you are going to be stunned by. We'll be checking in with Molly Eppert from Art in Public Places. They have these really cool tours that they do throughout Vail that just kind of bring it to life in a different way. And it's just a great way to kind of appreciate the space that you're in even more. We'll have your headlines, your weather, your events, and just so much more. And hopefully you'll be part of the show with us. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, please send us some comments. We love to hear from you. It really makes our day when we know where you're watching from or if you have any questions. And we're also live on Outside TV Channel 17 if you're here locally. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to our new YouTube channel, make sure to do that. And all you have to do is go to YouTube and type in Vail Valley Live. I have it pulled up right now on my computer so I can see any of your comments and hopefully respond quickly. But let's talk a little bit just about the weather. Shall we, Mary? Maybe hop into the weather and then we'll go back out to Trish so we can see what it looks like. And it's all brought to you by the outlets at Silverthorne, where you're going to find elevated savings each and every day. And a good day for going over to the outlets early. But, we had yesterday feeling very much like spring. Temperatures were in like the 40s, bright sunshine. Today, winter returns again. So you can see this shot of Lion's Head looking pretty clear out there, but definitely a little bit of cloud cover first thing. And you can see those lights are just glowing that much more brightly with that cloud cover on the trees that are still lit up in Lion's Head. And Vail will be opening this morning at 8:30, by the way. They've extended their hours from 8:30 to 3:30, so you get an extra half hour of skiing and riding now that daylight savings time has kicked in. So today, high of around 41, so it's going to be pretty warm. But you see that wind speed kind of, picking up a little bit. And we could see our best chance of snow this afternoon into tomorrow morning. So Joel Gratz and his team are saying most likely about 3 to 6 inches, but we could maybe see like 2 to 8. So we'll see what happens by tomorrow morning. And then we could have another little refresh on Thursday afternoon before Friday and Saturday and Sunday will be mostly dry. And then we could see another storm that's kind of tracking through the south of Colorado on Sunday through Tuesday. So we could maybe see more powder on Monday and Tuesday. So more snow in the forecast, a little bit of sunshine. And if you're going to be hitting up the resorts today, 97% open in Vail. In the last 7 days, 18 inches, and they have 26 of their 32 lifts operating, so 97% open. And then, I'm sorry, 8:30 to 4. I said 8:30 to 3:30 earlier. 8:30 to 4 is when Vail will be open, so that's where that extra half hour is part of your schedule. So take advantage of that. And then it Pretty good. Thank you so much to the outlets at Silverthorne for that weather and mountain report. So let's send things back out to Trish. So Trish, how's it feeling out there? Does it feel wintry? Like what's going on with the temps?
It's a little cold, but it'll be interesting to see how the day shapes up with the winter kind of returning. Boy, yesterday everyone sure loved all that sunshine. Hopefully, wore the sunscreen. I've been seeing a lot of goggle tans out there, and yeah, actually, it is pretty cool that they do have. They'll open till 4 o'clock now, and this is for the front side, so 8:30 to 4. So now the back bowls close at 3:30, and then Blue Sky Basin closes a little bit before that. So everything was shifted after the daylight savings time happened this past weekend, and then Beaver Creek is just still 9 to 4. That's how they've been, and that's what they're going to be the whole season. But then don't forget, Arrowhead and Bachelor Gulch, they close at 3:30. So if you need to get back to Main Mountain, always make sure you can pop on that lift before that closes if you got to pick up the kids from ski school.
That is an excellent point. And, I think also if you're going to plan on getting out there to ski and ride and you don't have your own gear, oh gosh, can you hear me okay? We got some audio issues.
It's a little faint. It was great
okay.
A little bit ago before the weather.
Okay, well then, we'll just have to, let's see if we can fix that. We'll come back to you here shortly. I don't want you to have to get like super crazy close. All right, well, we'll come back to you here in just a minute, but we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have a look at what's going on with your headlines, your traffic, and we'll be checking back in with Trisha, and hopefully she can hear me, so stay with us.
Skiing is more dangerous than ever due to crowded slopes and people skiing faster than their abilities allow. Hi, this is Joseph Block, a ski injury attorney at Block and Chapleau. If another skier or snowboarder hits you from behind and it injures you, you're entitled to monetary compensation. Remember, the downhill skier has the right of way. The uphill skier has a responsibility to avoid skiers below.
If you've been injured, you need to call an attorney to protect your rights. It's important to preserve the evidence immediately. Call Block and Chapleau today at 970-926-1700. We've been doing this for over 30 years and have collected millions of dollars of compensation for injured skiers and snowboarders.
Block and Chapleau has offices in the Vail Valley, Frisco, and Denver to serve you. Your case is our priority.
If you've been injured in an automobile or ski collision, call us today at 970-926-1700 to speak to an attorney, or go to vailjustice.com.
You're probably wondering, what makes these chips taste so good? Here's a hint. It's lime. They taste like lime. Tostitos, get to the good stuff.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
All right, I was just reading up a little bit on what's going on with the Eagle Block Party coming back the 3rd through the 5th of June, and I was just checking out that, they have some camping passes that will be available at the Eagle County Fairgrounds. So you can go to blockpartyeagle.com to find out more information about that, and also go to vailcoffee.com if you want to find out some more information about, just having that local brew at home with you. And this week, I think we're still on our Nordic blend here in the studio, because it's Emma's favorite, and usually it just wakes us all up just right just like that. But they I was talking to one of their employees not too long ago and asking her what her favorite thing was, and she said their London Fog was just her favorite. So a little Earl Grey tea and then some hot steamed milk on top of it. So that's kind of a little bit more of a slow way to wake up, but they have that, and then they also have delicious après cocktails. So I mean, it is spring break, Mare, right? Mm-hmm. Like, now, Mare, do you have a go-to après ski drink that you might? Margarita. I think you're not alone in that. I feel the same way. I really love a good margarita. Now, if you wanted to go, let's say to Beaver Creek, they have their shop in between the two escalators. So for their menu, for their happy hour, they have their Uller hot chocolate, which might be good, like if you want a little something warmer. And then they also, speaking of the Earl Grey, they have the London Calling, which just adds some dry curacao, some Fernet, some honey syrup, and oat milk. So, a little kick to what you might typically have. And then I feel like Trisha would like this one. She loves her chai teas, right? And they have the Rockin' Chai, which is rock and rye whiskey, camel, and Sherpa chai. So maybe try out a little après menu while you're up there with Vail Mountain Coffee and Tea. So, Dan Elliott, good morning. Enjoying my coffee too, like they do. Good morning, Dan. What kind of blend are you drinking this morning? Do you have like a specific coffee that your go-to in Florida? Because I feel like maybe, I don't know, like, do you want something like, do you have like iced coffee? You still have it nice and warm? Like, what are the temps in Florida today? All right, so, of course, with your coffee, and then little Vail Daily goes a long way. And let me just tell you, this headline certainly had us talking in the studio today. So, first of all, we have Isabella Borg. She's part of Battle Mountain's soccer team. The Huskies won their season opener 4-0, so congratulations to them. And then this headline, Vail Resort's next steps. So, Kirsten Lynch, she said in a letter to employees that they can do better and details plans to invest in the workforce and aggressively pursue new affordable housing. They also did announce, I don't want to spoil this for you, but a base salary of $20 an hour, which that's amazing. And Trish and I can certainly tell you that was not a thing when we were employees there. So I think everybody will have a lot of opinions about this particular article, and that's all detailed on page A3 and then continued on page A15. So John LeConte, great job on that article. I think that's really going to have lots of people talking today. And then some exciting news. When you open up the front cover, Avon lands the big one. So if you are a fan of the Xterra Triathlon, they are moving their U.S. Championship event out of Utah and into Avon. So this is really, really cool. And of course, very exciting for our own Josiah Middow and his family, who just crushes this type of event. And, he describes it as like being kind of like a regular triathlon, but more fun. And they, of course, have had a couple events up at Beaver Creek in the past, but now this is it's taken to a whole new level. So you can learn more about that on page A2. That's really exciting. I'm pumped about that. And then Michaela Schifrin posts the fastest downhill training time. So this is exciting. Trish and I were talking about this morning. I mean, this girl, I tell you what, she's so talented, right? And I know we saw just a glimpse of her talents at the Olympics, but here she is, just kind of like regular scheduled program, and like out of nowhere, she's just crushing some downhill. So Michaela Schifrin, you can find out more about what's happening with her and her World Cup season on page A29. And then as we keep going on the sports and outdoors, SSCV shines in final 2 junior national cross country ski races. Mary, did you ever do cross country skiing up here?
Just to the Tennessee Yurt Pass.
Just to the Tennessee Yurt Pass. So not like competitively in high school or anything. I mean, I feel like the lung capacity on these athletes has to be off the charts. Like, I can't even imagine attempting to race on Nordic skis. So the fact that they're doing so well is really cool. So you can learn a little bit more about that in our sports and outdoors section. And then, like we were talking with the block party, Thievery Corporation is going to be the headliner, and that's taking place the 3rd through the 5th of June. And the cost ranges from about $129 to $259. And there's some cool details about this. So, for instance, if you want to bring the whole family down, they have tickets for teens, ages 13 to 17, and then 12 and under are free in the general admission areas, but there's going to be some VIP options. And then something else that I was very excited about. So for $119, they're doing Bloodies and Bluegrass tickets, and that includes a full brunch buffet, endless Bloody Marys and mimosas, plus an open bar and live bluegrass music on the 3rd day of the event. So that's going to be quite the shindig on June 3rd through the 5th with the Eagle Block Party returning. So very exciting. And Dan says it's 66 degrees here now. Coffee is hot, brewed with cinnamon, then add a little butter. Oh, damn, that sounds really good. A little cinnamon. I love that. And 66 degrees in Florida. Yep, you're feeling like winter today too. So samesies. All right, let's check in with our roads. So things are pretty smooth sailing this morning, I have to say. Like there really wasn't much of any kind of delays or anything. I definitely felt like my commute had returned to normal, and that's kind of the case. Looking at all of our traffic cameras, Dow Junction, of course, a little bit busier as people are making their way into work. Vail Pass, very quiet this morning. So apparently it's a good time to be, taking that commute. Main Vail exit, a little bit of sunshine. And this is where that sun glare is starting to be a little bit of an issue first thing in the morning. So just be aware that if you are heading toward the sun, it's definitely going to be a good time to have that your sunglasses and your visor down, because my goodness, that can be brutal. And having some washer fluid is a good idea this time of year as well. Let's check back in with Trisha and see if she can hear me okay. So I was a little bit quiet before. Trish, is that better? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you crystal clear, even over the garbage trucks that are just moving their way out the red line. They're working their way out. Hey, but Ashley, we thought we'd come up to the top of Bridge Street and show the Edge statue right here. And Bodie Miller was the inspiration for this. You mentioned how Michaela did so well in that downhill training. Well, with the time difference over in France, where they're doing the World Cup wrap-up the whole season, she won the downhill today. So pretty amazing. And it was more of a technical style downhill, which favors her style of skiing. She's more of a technical skier instead of a speed skier. We've got speed events, we've got technical events. But she's only really started 15 downhills in World Cup. And to do this well, just really awesome. And then that helped get her some more points, because it's a tight race for the overall points in World Cup ski racing right now. So congratulations to Michaela, doing so well in today's downhill race. Pretty amazing.
Right? I mean, only 15 starts. Like, could you imagine doing that? Wow. I mean, obviously her skill level is just off the charts. Like it's just like blowing my mind this morning that like, oh, no big deal. Just 15 starts. Let me just win this thing.
Yeah, let me just throw down, but good for her, especially after the Olympics. So that's really exciting news. So that was kind of breaking news this morning. But Ashley, real quick on the roads, when Barry and I drove into Vail, on the electronic message boards over I-70, it said exit closures for exit 171, which is the one into Minturn, and then exit 173, which is into West Vail. So we couldn't really see anything at this point when we were driving in, but maybe after 8 o'clock, maybe that's when that happens. So just have people be aware of that. And then if you're driving westbound on I-70, we also heard that from Bear Ranch, Death Zero, Bear Ranch area, I-70 is going to close both lanes westbound because of an accident. So
man,
just a little road news. Not really much, here. Roads were nice and dry, but just some closures for construction and then closures for accident cleanup.
Right. Oh, thank you, Trisha. Yeah, really, really good, important information there. I know that, earlier in the week, they were doing some vehicle and truck removals from the median from our last snowstorm. So that was causing some delays. So I wonder if that has anything to do with some of these closures. But thank you for that update. And ecalert.org would be a great way to find out about, more of that information. As well as, I find Twitter is a good resource too for I-70 things, Trisha. I don't know if you ever hop on there, but that's like the only reason I go on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, that's a good resource as well. So but actually we're here. It's very quiet. I don't even see the employees here at Gandhi One right now. A few of them are coming up, but just a quiet morning, but very busy this week. There's a lot of spring breakers, families from Texas schools. They're out this week. New York, plenty of other states are out here as well. So keep that in mind when you're trying to get lunch, or if you're trying to get your ski rentals. The lift lines might be a little bit longer, and you can use the Epic Mix app to look at real-time lift lines and then kind of gauge your day. Like when you're going up Gandhi One, see what it's looking like at Northwood. See what it's looking like back at Tier 5. And you can maybe decide how to plan your day, because there are ways to avoid crowds on the mountain. You just need to know where to go.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And Trish, while we're kind of like talking about the mountain and Bodie Miller being the inspiration, I just wanted to let you guys know. So, back in January, we were supposed to have an event with Lindsey Vonn releasing her second book as part of it's a collaboration with the Bookworm, and that's our only local bookstore here in the Valley. And so, I am excited to be the moderator for this event. So it's been rescheduled. It's a virtual event now because so many people bought tickets that don't live here in the Valley. So anyway, it's been rescheduled. It's happening tomorrow night at 6:00. So I'm going to be spending my St. Patty's Day evening with Lindsey Vonn and maybe a couple hundred of her fans talking about this new book. So Trisha, I'm excited. I'm curious to learn a little bit more just about what makes Lindsey Lindsey.
Oh yeah, and you know what? As she's been doing so much since her retirement, she has not slowed down at all. And to write this book, what I've heard is that she said, hey, she was going to write it kind of closer to right after she retired, but she wasn't ready yet. She was still kind of like, such an adjustment. So she needed to have a little bit of time, a little bit of distance from that event and that decision to kind of be ready to write this book. All right. Any juicy details you
I
can
mean,
expand on?
some of I honestly, so she reveals like this book definitely gets personal. It's not, it's not really diving into any like her personal relationships or anything like that. So don't expect that out of this book, but she does dive into like her mindset and where that came from. And then she gets so personal that she reveals something in this book that her dad didn't even know until he read the book. Like the book was finished and he found out about it when he read that book. So so there's some juicy stuff in there, and just I think there's something like I thought that was really interesting, especially not necessarily being a ski racer, but she talks about being in the start gate, and something that she would always do is like stomp her feet and then spit. And I was like, huh? And apparently it has to do with like your physiology and preparing yourself to kind of like get some adrenaline going, get some testosterone running through your veins, and it helps with getting that energy on the course. So I mean, just some like little things. I'm like, I never would have thought that like stomping your feet had anything to do that was actually physiological. And anyway, yeah. So I'm excited to talk to her.
I know. And you know what? I know that she said also that as successful as she was on the Hill, she wants to be as successful in the rest of her life and her endeavors. So she's starting to get involved in so many different things. And of course, her Lindsey Vonn Foundation is still going on. They were just accepting scholarships for the Lindsey Vonn Foundation. So, and this is a nationwide type of thing. So a lot of kids that are maybe, and it's not just for ski racing or anything like that, it's for any kind of enrichment programs, after school programs. If there's a financial need, go to the Lindsey Vonn Foundation's website to find out more about that. And it's so neat to see what she's doing still with young girls.
Yeah, definitely. I had a chance to actually go and be part of one of her workshops in Denver with a bunch of girls, and it was just really sweet to see how they, were really listening to what she had to say, and really it was a lot about confidence. And anyway, so yeah, I'm excited about this conversation. So if you want to be part of it, go to the Bookworm, bookworm.com, and see if you can get a ticket for the event, and then you'll get the link sent to you, and then you'll be part of this St. Patty's Day event with me and Lindsey tomorrow night at 6. So anyway, all right, Trish. Well, we're going to come back and check in with you guys, see what you're up to next. But first, we're going to take a break, and then we'll have a look at that local weather forecast.
Xterra, apparel for your active lifestyle. Visit xterraplanet.com today. Enter the promo code CHECK20 at checkout for an extra 20% off regularly priced merchandise.
Get more information at VailYetiHockey.com. Go Yeti!
Do you want locally grown mushrooms, microgreens, organic herbs, fruits, vegetables, honey, recipes, and more? Sign up for Nap Ranch's CSA boxes now. Feel good about supporting local farmers while nourishing your family. Go to napgardencenter.com and click CSA to sign up today.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Live Sotheby's International Realty, Colorado's leading real estate firm. Contact their Vail Valley broker professionals today to help you live the life you love.
All right, so today we are returning to winter. We have those temperatures still relatively warm. It said 28 when I was leaving Eagle this morning. So, still relatively warm out there. And you can see that sun starting to kind of just touch the top of the mountain there in Lion's Head. But it's going to feel like it's about 18 in Vail for a little bit here. Some partly cloudy skies first thing this morning. And then later on this afternoon and evening is kind of our best chance for snow out of the next couple days. So it looks like tomorrow morning we could have some fresh turns for us. And Joel Gratz in OpenSnow.com is saying anywhere between about 3 to 6 is probably the most likely totals, but he's like, it could be 2 to 8. It just kind of depends on how things shape up, but we'll know, of course, by tomorrow morning, but we will have some snow tonight. And then Thursday, we could see maybe like a little bit of a refresh on Thursday afternoon, and then things clear up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday through next Tuesday, there's another storm that's tracking to the south of Colorado, and so that could potentially bring us some more powder on Monday and Tuesday. It just kind of depends on how that works with the winds. Typically, being to the south of us is not the most favorable for a lot of snow in Vail, but it could happen. So we'll see. And then for Vail, they are 97% open, 18 inches in the last 7 days. 8:30 to 4 are their current operating hours. Now that we've hit daylight savings time, they have a 64-inch base and 212 inches for their current season totals. Beaver Creek, 100% open today. They are open from 9 to 4, 17 inches in the last 7 days. They have a 60-inch base and 204 inches for their current season total. So looking pretty good out there. Thank you, Live Sotheby's, for our weather and our conditions. I think definitely great conditions for all of our spring breakers. And I want to check back in with Trisha and Barry and see, they were just next to Gondola 1 in Vail Village, and I want to see if they are starting to see some of the spring breakers kind of making their way out. I mean, we have about half an hour before those lifts open, so I'm curious, do we have diehard spring breakers, or do we have the ones that are sleeping in? Oh, hey, you two, are you fishing? What are you doing?
We just had 3 trout right now. It's so cool. I was just like, wow. And they're just kind of hanging out. They're just facing upstream. But it's so pretty, and I don't know if we can show this, but the rocks with the snow on the side there.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it amazing, the side of the river that doesn't get a lot of sun compared to the one that does, how much snow is still there?
Yeah, so we thought we'd come down here because we've got a big screen TV set up. It was set up during the Olympics when we were watching the Olympic Games on it, and then they also have a stage behind us. And what this is a part of is a multi-week event called Vail Opera Spring Series. So what we're going to do is have all sorts of bands performing on this stage. We're going to have DJs up at Eagle's Nest. And then we're going to have music over at the Arabelle Ice Rink in Lion's Head. And then Teton Gravity Research is going to be putting movies up on the screen. So this will be happening all throughout the rest of the season. So this is week 3, I believe, of what we've got. And we're playing on Saturday. And then the 3 to 6, and then Delta Sonics will be playing on the stage on Sunday. And then we'll have a DJ over in, like I mentioned, Arabelle, and then up at Eagle's Nest. So kind of just a fun way to celebrate spring.
That sounds awesome, Trisha. I love this. And I was just so the other day I follow TGR on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure it was them. I need to verify, but they, I believe, have just partnered with the post office to have a new line of ski wear. Well, like just like T-shirts and like logoed stuff that say "Send it." So I just thought that was a pretty unique collaboration, but it had me laughing at home, and I was like, okay, this is pretty funny. And I love that the Postal Service is like getting in on action sports, right? Like what a random pairing, but send it. I feel like that's also perfect for spring break. So. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they're going to, in addition to these, regular weekly happenings, they're going to have some fun themed parties. One of them, of course, being an 80s theme. So this should be fun this spring. So it's kind of an exchange of, instead of Spring Back to Vail, they're doing this. So we won't have Bondsgiving this year, is what I've been told. But they'll have all these weekly concerts, and you can find out more at discovervail.com. or even vailoperas.com. They can have 2 different websites that give you all the details. But yeah, the stage just kind of popped up a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago to be exact. And so it's nice. It's not permanent, it's semi-permanent, but it's going to be here throughout the rest of the season.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Trisha and Barry, for taking us fishing and showing us all the après things. All right. We're coming back to you guys here shortly over at Betteridge, so stay with us for that. But before we do that, we wanted to check in with Beaver Creek and what's going on there for our spring breakers. So tonight, we have the British Invasion happening at the Villar Performing Arts Center. So if you want something that just kind of takes you back, that would be a great performance. And we're actually going to have one of the members of British Invasion on the show here shortly. So that's starting at 7:30. Tickets start at $55, and then you can also do a 4-pack for $200. So that might be good if you're here in town for spring break and you want a little something that just kind of gets you moving. So that again is happening at the Villar Performing Arts Center tonight, and then tomorrow during the day, they're going to have like a little kind of a matinee Irish celebration, if you will. And so it's going to be very much like the traditional Irish sounds. So you can wear your green, you can bring the kids and head on over to the Villar. And, Beaver Creek has these weekly complimentary activities that take place. So I think it's Goitse. Do you know, Meredith, do you pronounce it like that? Goitse? Or Goitse? Anyway, they are celebrating at 7:30 tomorrow. I think they did have a matinee show, and then they have the 7:30. Anyway, 7:30 tomorrow night. If you want to get your Irish celebration on, this could be really cool. You can be part of that Lindsey Vonn chat with me. It's from like 6 to 7, and then head on over to the concert at 7:30. So tickets start at $25. And right now, Beaver Creek is in the midst of their Beaver Creek Extraordinaire Presents Bloom, which basically just celebrates all things spring with your family. And so for tonight and this afternoon, they have also live music with Helmut Fricker in the Village from 3 to 5, and cookie time, of course, daily at 3 p.m. So if you are just kind of, out there with the kids, maybe you ski a couple runs, that cookie is always something really great to look forward to. But you can see here, they have caricatures that they do weekly. They have DJs that come in. So really great lineup. You can go to beavercreek.com/events for more information on that. All right, let's get into all things sparkly and exciting at Betteridge. We're going to send things over to our girl Trish and Casey.
We're here at Betteridge, and we're going to talk watches with one of the newest members of the team here at Betteridge. Casey joins us, and you were a watchmaker. You still are, but that was your craft. So you know a lot about these, especially IWC.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your history.
Yep, so I was a watchmaker for IWC. I worked at the Richemont Technical Center for 4 years in Dallas. I was working on some of these watches and some of the other ones here, and just recently joined the staff here at Betteridge.
Okay, if you want to talk watches, this is the guy that knows everything that's going on with them. So tell us about why these are some of your favorites.
Yeah, so these are some of the newer collections with IWC. IWC has been making a pilot's watch for many, many decades. This is the new smaller size of the Pilot. Beautiful, beautiful dial, and one of the most unique features about this watch in particular is if you turn it over, you can see the movement, and then we have these quick release straps that makes it really easy to change out when you want to wear black, when you want to wear brown, a lot like the convertible jewelry. So this is a really cool piece.
Okay, a couple different, not just telling time, but we have a couple different readings here.
Yeah, this is a chronograph, which means it's a stopwatch, so you start, stop, and reset on command.
Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. Now, how about this one?
Yeah, next up we have our Portugieser Classic. This is a new watch as well, brand new in-house movement. It's made in a smaller size with a really classic design, just time only, hours, minutes, seconds on that beautiful dial.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And you can see the access to the movement on the back on that one as well. So really, really cool.
Yeah, just mesmerizing looking at that. And then how about this one?
Yeah, this is our Portofino chronograph, also in a new, smaller size with a new dial and strap combination. So we've only until this year have seen these recent additions. So this is a beautiful green dial, green strap on a watch for someone who's looking for a similar look, but in a smaller size.
Okay, perfect. What do you love about watches? How did you get into it in the first place?
So I was kind of unfamiliar to the watch world like everyone else was until I read an article about watchmaking in the Swiss watch industry and how intricate the mechanics are to them. I've always kind of known how to tinker and like tinkering, and so just getting to know how they worked, and it's a craft. I mean, they've been essentially the same for centuries, and we're still using similar mechanical technology.
Definitely. We're mesmerized by these. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a little insight. And these are just a few of the many watches that they have here at Betteridge, and they're located right next to the ice rink in Solaris. In your hours?
10 to 6.
Okay.
We get out, fire it up, hook big ones. We get out and rip it, and we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew and get out and do.
You deserve more from your steak. You deserve the only steak that's guaranteed to be perfect every single time. At Omaha Steaks, we're delivering old school quality with a now school mentality. That means aging every steak for tenderness, carefully hand carving, and obsessing over every last detail, so you never second guess a single bite. For a limited time, get 4 free chicken breasts and 4 free pork chops with your order. Go to omahasteaks.com/TV today. You deserve this.
In 1964, television viewers tuned in to The Ed Sullivan Show to see the American debut of a British group called the Beatles, and the world was never the same. Featuring music from the Rolling Stones, the Kinks, the Beatles and more, the British Invasion relives the hits that changed the world. This immersive multimedia concert experience takes you on a musical journey front and centre back to the 60s. They came, they sang, they conquered. The British Invasion, live on stage.
Okay, well, speaking of the British invasion, of course, Trisha got the scoop on what's happening with the show happening tonight at the Vail Performing Arts Center. So let's take a look at what you could be enjoying live tonight at the Vail.
Oh, we are so excited for this show tonight at the Vail Performing Arts Center. The British Invasion Live has been touring all over the United States since February. They're making their stop in Colorado today. And joining us now, we have one of the cast members. We have Tanner Hake with us, and we're excited to have him. Good afternoon, good morning. I know you're in Denver, you're coming up, so we're excited to have this group come and perform on our stage. And I don't think you guys have been to the Vail Performing Arts Center before, have you?
No, not yet. Not yet. So real excited to be playing there tonight.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's going to be a great treat. It's a 530 seat theater, horseshoe shaped theater, and I think the crowd is going to really love this because wow, when you think about this time period back in the 60s, Ed Sullivan show and what the British invasion really did, it just changed really the way that America responded to music. Tell us about some of the bands that you guys will be representing.
Yeah, well, of course, we got the Beatles, we got the Rolling Stones, Kinks, Dave Clark 5, the Animals, the Hollies. Then we also have Dusty Springfield and Petula Clark, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Herman Hermits. We're kind of hitting everything that was going on kind of at the beginning of the invasion, like you said, that ran rapid through the United States. So all those bands.
Okay. Well, and how fun is it for you and the other members? Looks like you've got about 7 people that are on the stage. I'm sure, you guys have done many of other types of shows, but what is it about the British invasion and why do you love doing it?
Well, for me, I grew up playing music, but then also wanting to act, and I kind of was doing them primarily separately. So this is a perfect combination of being able to sing those rock songs and those songs that everyone knows, even if they don't know it. You start playing it, and they go, "Oh, it's this song." So it's just fantastic. Pretending to be being a rock star and being on tour and getting to sing these kind of songs. So it's been fantastic, and the audience reaction too. It's all ages. You have people who were there when this was happening, singing along, but you also see kids who are even younger than I am who are singing every song word for word. So that's kind of magical.
Well, and it sounds like you really make it immersive, like with the footage, the photos that are up on the screen, and then also some of the original film that is weaved into the show. It kind of gives people the sense that they are there and they're hearing it, as if they were actually hearing it back in the 60s for the first time.
Yeah. Well, someone said, I think we were in North Carolina, but I was talking to someone who saw the show, and he commented it was almost like a rock documentary live. Because what we're doing is we're kind of starting at the beginning, and between songs we'll kind of say what was happening, what was going on, maybe how this happened, and then, like you said, on the screen, we have kind of the events that were happening during it. So they are immersed in what was going on, why this music was important, and some of the songs that we played right after some of the videos really, really hit home. I won't say what it is. Come and see the show tonight, but it's it's very moving.
Okay, well, yeah, and just the clothing of the period, just really trying to transport people back in time. This is going to be a great show. And now, how long have you and the cast members been together? Just since the tour started in February, or have you worked together on other projects?
No, so all of us did not know each other before this. I met a few of them at the audition in New York late last year. But we've been together since I want to say the end of January.
Yeah.
We were doing Zoom things during January, but we all got together at the end of January, beginning of February, and had 2 weeks of rehearsal. Then we hit the road.
Wow. That's
We
fun.
got some really great musicians. Everyone kind of showed up and knew their part, and then it was just a matter of putting it all together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, we are so excited to have your whole group coming up here. This is the British Invasion live. It's going to be live on stage at the Villar Performing Arts Center. Showtime is 7:30 tonight. We have reserved seating started at 55. There is 4-pack available, 4 tickets for 200. I would get on this. I think they're getting close to being sold out. Well, and then Tanner, just got to remind you, we are up at altitude, right around 8,000 feet. So hopefully they've got the oxygen backstage for you guys.
I certainly hope so.
Okay, perfect. Well, welcome to the Vail Valley. We're excited that you guys are going to be here. And once again, if you want to get tickets for tonight's show, it is at villarpac.org, and that's 7:30 p.m. You won't want to miss it. You will not be disappointed. Tanner, thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate you, and we're really glad that you guys can make it up to our beautiful Vail Valley.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me.
It's amazing. He's talking about motorcycle insurance, and people love it. And of course, they love the savings they're going to get with Geico, but it goes beyond that.
You deserve to save.
Heard that before.
You deserve to save.
I know.
I need you to hear me. You deserve to save.
I deserve to save.
I mean, he has a way of making you feel seen.
Bundle car and motorcycle insurance and save at geico.com.
Maui Jim Sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Carrots Jewelers, creating heirlooms for over 50 years.
I can see the sun finally starting to hit the valley floor here in Eagle Vail this morning. Traffic moving along pretty smoothly out our windows, but we do have some snow in the forecast later on today, so that will certainly be impacting your commute if you're going to be heading home around rush hour this evening. So this afternoon and overnight, we could see maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow, according to opensnow.com. And then we could see a little bit more snow back in the forecast for Thursday afternoon, just a little bit. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, looking at some sunshine returning. Temperatures, look at this, Saturday around 46. So it's definitely going to feel a lot more like spring this weekend. And then we'd have another chance for more snow maybe next Monday and Tuesday. So I love this shot right there in Vail Village, and you can see the Gore Range right behind the clock tower there. Such an iconic shot. And you can also see a lot of work taking place, you know, kegs being unloaded, street sweeping happening, people just kind of walking along and getting their fresh air in first thing. And so we'll see kind of a different scene around this time tomorrow morning. We'll probably see a little bit of snow clinging to those branches and some cooler temperatures potentially as well. Now, if you're going to be going over to Vail today, they have 97% of their terrain open, so that's 267 of their 273 trails open from 8:30 to 4 with all of this extra daylight in the afternoon, and they currently have a 64-inch base with 18 inches in the last 7 days. At Beaver Creek, how to enjoy the mountains to the fullest. Of course, is our girl Trisha. Obviously, she's hustling. She's getting all the best interviews, but she's out there with Molly, and Molly has this gift for really bringing Vail to life in a whole new way. And so these two are about to tell us exactly how that happens and how you get to participate. So let's send it out to Trish and Molly to find out more about art in public places.
Here we are, hanging out on the swings at the Kelsey Montague Mall. I'm with Molly. You getting the leg burn?
A little bit.
Okay, this is part of the great mural art that you're going to find throughout Vail with Art in Public Places. And that's what Molly is with. Molly Eppert is with the town of Vail, Art in Public Places. And what's really cool about this is you do tours for the public, select days of the month, and we're going to have them happen on today and then the first of April, Wednesday in April. But this is so pretty. I just think this has been such a great addition. And when did murals really start becoming as part of the landscape?
So in 2019, the Art in Public Places Board decided to look at murals and spaces where we can integrate that into the Vail landscape. And really kind of enhancing and beautifying some of these spaces, and what better places than the parking structures.
I know there's a lot of landscape that we can utilize here, and it kind of goes all throughout this little corridor. We're on the west end of the landscape, and Kelsey Montague came here in 2019. And you said the cool thing about what she does is she really invites the public to be a part of this, and she had quite a crowd when she was here.
She did. And one of the initiatives in curating the murals for Vail is we wanted to invite Coloradan artists. And Kelsey is actually fourth generation Coloradan. Even though she's internationally known, it was a great start as far as introducing the murals. And like you said, Kelsey really becomes, she wants the public to become a part of these murals by interacting with them.
And have you seen the wings that people stand in front of? That's her art as well. And I think there were people that were gathering thought Taylor might be here because she is a big fan.
Taylor Swift is a big fan, and you would say she kind of put Kelsey on the map as far as social media, having posed in front of her murals many years ago in New York City. And then Kelsey was commissioned by Taylor Swift to do a huge mural in Nashville. And that was right around the time that we had invited Kelsey to create this mural for Vail. And it's really just a burst of color as you're coming from the dark parking structures and seeing this wonderful landscape that's going to greet you on Vail Mountain.
I know, and this is not the only mural that we have now. We're going to show you some pictures and kind of walk you through some of the things that you might see on the tour or might just see if you're wandering around town today. And you've got Pedro and Jaime.
Pedro and
Here
Jaime.
They are.
Oh, they're great. And they work as a collective, and we invited them to create this mural at the Lion's Head parking structure, also in 2019. And after that, this summer, we invited them to actually create some more murals, all near the Lion's Head parking structure. These are the ventilation stacks just west of Dobson Ice Arena.
Oh,
and that was really fun for them to be able to paint in the round, is what they said. So it's kind of a continuation of their mural that they created in the parking structure. They were inspired by all the families who were really exiting that area to go to the Dobson Ice Arena as well as the library, and kind of continued that family.
Oh, it definitely does. Okay, that's great. So you're going to pop that over. And this is one of my favorites. This is on the top level of the Vail Village parking structure.
We have Jason Graves and Remington Robson, and they also work as a collective. And we thought that right at the top part of the parking structure, they would do something more realistic. So they did these two great dahlias. One is winter and one is summer. And there the artists are right after they completed that. And just really a delight to work with. And there is the winter dahlia, also on that top level of the parking structure.
Okay, yeah, they look so lifelike.
Right, and these are in Vail Village too, not the Lion's Head structure.
Okay, perfect. All right.
And we also invited them, we wanted to welcome people kind of into the Vail Village structure. And they really kind of created this movement and motion and burst. And, that was actually in 2020 as we're kind of welcoming people back into Vail after the COVID days, and really just that fun burst of color. And it was a little bit of a surprise and delight for our guests and residents to enjoy as they return to Vail.
Okay, yeah, just so nice. And it is, I noticed it when I first came in. I was like, Molly, I noticed the new murals. So this is great to just kind of beautify some of the space. And you've got all that space with the concrete there. And then Olive Moya, this is the most recent one.
It is. And Olive was a young artist also out of the Denver area, and she uses a wheat pasting technique. And we collaborated with the Snow Sports Museum just around the corner from where the mural is to have this wonderful image of Vail, Mid-Vail, in the late 1960s, early 70s. And she wheat pasted that image of this Mid-Vail ice bar onto the wall by La Cantina, and then added her color and form and gesture. And again, it's just a really great way to enliven some of these kind of more dull spaces within the town of Vail parking structures. So
yeah, and then that little one that's kind of right on your way out of the parking structure, another vintage photo collaboration with the Colorado Snow Sports Museum, and then she puts her extra special flair on it. So that just looks great.
And that's definitely a more polished image, probably a marketing image from Vail in those early days. And there we have Kelsey working away on her large mural as well.
Well, Molly and I have made our way to the west end of the parking structure because we want to tell you about this. So sometimes art is the written word. And if we can take this up, it says, to the extent of how deep the valley is at some given time. So it's kind of hard to see with our gimbal here, but this is on the west end of the parking structure, and this is from Lawrence Weiner.
Right. We were really fortunate in 2018, two prominent Vail art collectors, Vicki and Kent Logan, approached the town of Vail and were interested in seeing if they could donate this particular work. And Lawrence Weiner was a foremost artist of the conceptual movement out of New York who introduced text and word as a form of art.
Wow, yeah.
And it's really unusual to find a work by Lawrence Weiner in a small mountain town like this. I guarantee you every major museum you go into now, you'll say, I saw that in Vail.
I know.
It's the same artist. So it's really fantastic that we were able to include this in the collection.
Okay, and that's what's so neat is, Kent and Vicki Logan have done so much for the public art here in the Valley. I know they're really prominent with all their art and the works down in Denver and elsewhere.
Right, and like I said, they have such a wonderful collection. Most of it will be gifted to Denver Art Museum, San Francisco, and the town of Vail is really fortunate that we have this work. And then this summer, we'll actually be installing 4 more works by from the Kent and Vicki Logan collection. So they've gifted some more art to Vail. We're extraordinarily fortunate to be able to include these contemporary works in our kind of museum without walls is what we say at our outdoor art museum.
The museum without walls, that's what we're calling it. So to learn more about this, and this is just a small sample of what you're going to find on the Art in Public Places tour, the art walks to do. So we're going to meet today a little before 11 at the top level of the Vail Village parking structure at the Welcome Center, and then put on your walking shoes. We're around.
We are just about an hour long, and this is approximately where we end the tour. So.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, Molly, thanks so much for this information today. So just a little bit about the murals, and once again, that art tour today, and then the next one will be the first Wednesday in April.
All right, Trisha and Molly, thank you so much again. artinvail.com to really have that art come to life. What fascinating information. Also, how generous are some of the members of our community to really share this art, and of course, just kind of make you think a little bit differently about some of these spots. So thank you for that. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back to close out this Wednesday edition of Vail Valley Live.
It's 5 a.m. and I feel like I can do anything.
We've got apples and cabbage, 7,000 dahlias, vegetables, and
brisket for dinner.
This is my happy place.
We've been coming here since 1868.
My grandmother used to say,
Don't call me, don't bother me, I'm going out to mow.
There's a lot of cushy desk jobs out there, but
I make the earth take the shape that I want it to take.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
This Weather and Mountain Report is brought to you by Live Sotheby's International Realty, Colorado's leading real estate firm. Contact their Vail Valley broker professionals today to help you live the life you love.
Okay, well, something that I wanted to bring up before we get into our weather is this comment that I love from Rodney. Kelly Ripa ain't got nothing on Trisha Swenson. What you think? Honestly, Rodney, I think you're completely 100% correct with that comment. I love that. I mean, oh man, I love getting to work with this crew and specifically with Miss Trisha Swenson. So she's just the best. All right, so let's talk about the weather. So right now, a little bit of sunshine kind of mixed in, and you can see it just kind of hitting the clock tower. You can see the trucks backing up, people making their way, just down to maybe do a little shopping. I can't tell if they're carrying bags or helmets. Mary, what do you think? Those are helmets? Okay, so. Right? They could be purses. They could be helmets. I don't know. Anyway, whatever you're doing, if you're shopping, if you're skiing today, you're going to find a little bit more sunshine in the morning. And then this afternoon and evening, we have our next storm arriving that could bring us anywhere between about 3 to 6 inches, according to opensnow.com. And so that's just going to add on to the pile of snow that we've had in the last 7 days. So Vail in the last 7 days, 18 inches. So, I mean, that could bring us to 24 inches in 7 days. And then Beaver Creek has 17 inches in the last 7 days. So, put us over that 20 mark. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, we have that 6 inches by tomorrow morning. And then we have another little bit of a storm on Thursday afternoon. Not really looking at much in the way of accumulation there. And then things dry out for the weekend. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday can be beautiful, very much like spring break weather. Temperatures in the 40s. And of course, we have the sun setting now after 7 p.m., which is magical. And we'll be seeing the conditions, really pretty much open almost completely at Vail. 97% of their terrain is open right now, and they will be operating from 8:30 to 4 today. And then Beaver Creek is operating from 9 to 4. Mountain Report. Trisha, what do you think? Should we close out this edition of Vail Valley? Can you hear me still?
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay,
I can
good.
hear you. Yeah.
All right.
We just right here by the little bear here by Vail Village Arts. Lots of fun public art to find here. And check out the art tour today at 11.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, Molly is such a great wealth of information, and thank you for just showing us around. I mean, there's so many of those things that I still haven't seen yet in person, so I love that you can share that with all of us. And then, of course, just if you can be on those tours, how cool. I love that. Oh, no. All right.
Yep, lots of
Oh,
fun.
Trisha. Shoot. All right. You guys are freezing pretty bad, so we'll let you go. Thank you, Trisha and Barry. Thank you, Molly. And thank you to all of our guests on the show today from Betteridge, from the British Invasion. So have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you back here live at 7:30 tomorrow.